securing a death ball comp. This is the focus in most of their drafts, and Believix, this is what is supposed to be their answer in this game. Just slam the Aatrox and then just let him grow inside of the game so he becomes very, very strong against all the melees. But I think we've missed a very important detail here. Vayne is making her return to Summoner's Rift. And I hope it's not a repeat of what happened yesterday, because Time Gear's Vayne kind of was a pretty big disappointment. Scaled a little bit too slow for the demands of the game.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
In the previous series, Believix actually utilized the Morgana to try and secure some early Summoner spell advantages, but doesn't seem to be the case this time around. They just want to employ some kind of defensive position.
A joke? I've got a friend for that.
And try to defend. Just try to prevent BSU from securing any kind of advanced vision into their jungle.
Minions have spawned.
Time to run.
I hope the stream is not a slideshow right now, because I'm nervously glancing at OBS every 2 seconds or so, and it's... oh my god. I am actually panicking, but whatever. Just gotta hold on. Early game right now looks very, very tame from both sides, although as I say that, Yuna just completely unleashes his whole combo onto Gragas of Luke Caruana, but he can shrug most of that off. He has the body slam and he has health regen from his passive. Jaina Proudmoore, that's a nice condemn. Could be something out of that. It's a solo kill? Not quite. Didn't force any summoner spell either. Some positive trades from Yuna again. We're probably going to see some more of that. Some good trades in favor of Believix for now in this early game. Really feels like the matchups should go the way of Believix. Nice dodge from Jaina Proudmoore, but Duke of Jamming will not be able to cover all this distance. It does secure a favorable outcome here for Jaina Proudmoore. Christian Simeone falling dangerously low on health. And now Banksy's getting invaded. But there's no more camps to take. Banksy did secure the entirety of his jungle, so he's feeling just fine right now. Now the Seraphine Senna combo firing back a little bit. What can Believix do with this priority in most lanes here? You have to believe that they'll try to get first dragon at the first available opportunity. And you kind of want to stack at least 2 of those dragons before Brainstorm really gets going with this composition. Because it gets pretty scary when they're grouped up as 5. Yuna still trading very actively into his lane opponent. The chains yank the Gragas back with body slam. Actually, probably saves his life, but still, look at the wave clear that Yuna has on this champion. Really easy for him to just push the wave no matter what. Maxi comes in for the gank, but the black shield is expertly placed by Techno Gremlin. The root lands as well, but the Zac passive will save Faxi's life. Christian Simeone comes in for the roam as well, but another Dark Binding lands. Believix counterattack in full swing right now, but now Faxi is back in position, and the first blood lands onto Brainstorm actually. Believix miscalculating in this last step here. They thought they could still take that fight, but Faxi revives with more than enough health to re-engage, and Brainstorm land the first kill of his series. Oh, what a nice body slam flash from Luke Caruana, but a counterattack from Yuna. He just needs to land the second Q, and he does. He won't get tower aggro either, so it's just a clean solo kill, but the margins were extremely close. Look at Faxi here. He's already positioned to try and gank Jaina Proudmoore. Vayne still has both sums. Won't have to even use them though. That was a nice dodge for Jaina Proudmoore. Quick on the trigger, uses Condemn to create some space as well. And we're still trucking along. It's a mid lane kill for Brainstorm and a top lane kill for Believix. But honestly, the second part is kind of what we expected. Yuna has reinvented himself as a player in UNL. From regular season to playoffs, just that one position swap was enough. Now he's delivering monster performances again. Jaina Proudmoore now fairly low on health and mana. He will probably require support from his team soon enough. Faxi is close by as well, but right now Juke of Jamming is still on the dragon. Gonna take some time before he actually finishes up that one. The constant dashes and knockups from Bel'Veth. If you're not careful, it's pretty easy for Christian Simeone to secure positive trade. But yeah, right now we're just getting a small period of downtime as both junglers are just doing their camps or returning from base to do their camps. Oh, the nice Dark Binding lands again. The trap is going to miss, actually. The net misses as well. Maybe this could have been a chance to do more than that. Believix for now will have to settle for a small CS lead in this lane. Jaina Proudmoore now, the wave fully pushed in the mid lane, but I don't think a dive is possible at all. Faxi trying to help, but obviously Juke of Jamming was there for a counter gank. Believix sticking to their objectives. They want to keep the lanes pushing and have the laners winning. Duke of Jamming just constantly showing his face mid. This is where Brainstorm want to attack this Vayne. Even though she has Ghost and Flash, there are still opportunities to punish. Luke Caruana body slams to try and interrupt something, but now he's way out of position here. Even Banksy can't really save him from dying. He still continues to attack though because he has Christian Simeone and Nympho Brainiac just arriving to try and save this fight, but it's just going to be one kill potentially traded for free. Christian Simeone uses a Blast Cone. He probably gets away, but it's still Jaina Proudmoore here chasing on the Vayne with the bonus movement speed. Oh, sorry, it's Black Hole mid on the Senna. Obviously, subbing in as a emergency substitution. Brainstorm tried to compensate for Luke Caruana there. Tried to get something out of a play, but usually those plays end badly for you. To make matters worse, this is just a big lead in the top lane now for Yuna Dabola. He already has Serrated Dirk and 3 kills. Banksy is completely helpless in his own jungle. He doesn't have the support of his solo laners, and he's just going to fall. Meanwhile, there's a 2v2 kill in the bot lane. Nympho Brainiac and Black Hole mid holding their own versus the Caitlyn Morgana. Not such an easy win as it turns out. But just look at the situation in the top lane. It's absolutely disastrous right now for Luke Caruana. He has yeah, it's a 1.8k gold disadvantage for him. Yuna has Eclipse ready in base and potentially components towards the second item as well. So this is a gargantuan lead right now for Yuna, but it doesn't stop Luke Caruana from looking for an all-in. That explosive cask was nicely placed. Yeah, Gragas is very good at just preventing situations like these, turning those situations. Jaina Proudmoore now completely out of mana. All summoners blown as well. The Fanxy gank finally pays off. Now Judging Rock's in the 1v2 spot. Completely CC'd. Brought down. Even the trap won't amount to enough damage. And this is the bot lane of Believix falling once again. The bot lane that we expected to be leading the way is now getting punished twice in a row. But they still have Yuna in the top lane, obviously. A very big threat. But Christian Simeone is another big threat in the mid lane. He's very fed as well. 3 kills up already in this game. And his presence in the mid lane allows Brainstorm Unleashed to take second dragon here. 1 dragon apiece for both teams. Yuna once again lands the Infernal Chains. Constantly threatening his opponent. Oh. So Caruana has to be careful when trying to judge the distance. If he gets tagged by 1 Q sweet spot, then another one will most likely follow. Maxi, gank incoming. The Black Shield is not popped by Techno Gremlin. Perhaps they didn't have it available, and this is just 2 clean kills for Brainstorm Unleashed. They constantly attack the bot lane, and it just keeps falling behind. This is not a good look for Caitlyn. The champion vet definitely wants to be ahead in the laning phase. Luke Caruana now having to flash away. But look at what Believix is doing while all of that was happening. Jungle mid combo working in tandem to take down the 2 towers mid with the Rift Herald. Yuna now potentially a solo kill, but he miscalculates. He's not going to take that last tower shot that would have killed him. He's really pushing it to the extremes, trying to take down his opponent every step of the way, but now Luke Caruana is in trouble. Here comes the mid and the jungler. Jaina Proudmoore actually almost falls to the tower again. It really just shows you how hard it is to dive Gragas without falling yourself. But Believix managed to do that. And we're still looking at a gold lead for Believix, all said and done. The bot lane is not looking so hot, but thankfully for them, Vayne is looking great in the mid lane, much better than anticipated, and also the Aatrox is just bullying around the Gragas. Oh, Christian Simeone with a nice knockup. The Black Shield is late from Techno Gremlin. This is just going to be a kill. Another time, the bot lane of Believix positioned too high up the lane, and the Zac is merciless. His gank options are so plentiful. So easy for him to punish. Poor positioning just like this. And this is pretty much how Brainstorm Unleashed are keeping themselves alive in this game. Oh, what a nice explosive cast once again from Luke Caruana! Definitely, he's having a hard time versus the Aatrox. We all know how strong Aatrox is on the current patch. Even at Worlds, he's wreaking havoc in so many games, but still. Luke Caruana's Gragas, we've seen it many times in the jungle. Now a transition to top lane. It still looks very good. The trap isn't going to land onto the Senna. Takes some damage, but not enough to die. So now it's a 1v1 between Bel'Veth and the Vayne. Jaina Proudmoore, is she going to die to the red buff? It's Black Hole mid that actually takes that one. Could have just been the global. And there's a trade of kills in the top lane as well. Brainstorm Unleashed, slowly but surely pulling ahead in gold, and also clearly leading in the kill column. Believix have had a good early game, but now they really need to slow it down if they want to stay competitive against Brainstorm Unleashed. They are just very happy taking all of these fights because the champions are so good at it. Meanwhile, I feel like Believix have to be a bit more careful with the fights they actually choose to take. This time the Black Shield does land in time, but Christian Simeone has more than just one dash to get away. Those dash cooldowns, they get a lot shorter as the game progresses, and it's much harder to actually punish Bel'Veth. Now we're going to see the third dragon spawn, and is Brainstorm even going to contest this? They are not in position to do so. And it is going to be Infernal Soul. But the second Herald from Brainstorm Unleashed has the potential to do a lot of hurt here. Christian Simeone in his true form on the Bel'Veth, spawning a lot of Void minions, along with the 2 minion waves that are already there, then the Rift Herald as well. This could just be a tower take. Believix are not careful. They are going to get back in time to protect their inner turret top lane. But both teams definitely looking for answers the moment one team decides to make a proactive play. Black Hole mid now looking for vision perhaps. He's going to get punished pretty hard. Both summoners blown. That heal perhaps just to prevent Haze in the Hole from killing him if it came to that. Just summing up all the action right now, Brainstorm Unleashed is in a pretty good spot. They still have the gold lead. They have their mid lane champion that is about to spike heavily with the Kraken Slayer or the shield though, depending on what is about to come out. Could be either. So they are in a pretty good spot to contest the next dragon. But now Techno Gremlin, the Black Shield, isn't even going to save him. I guess the answer is affirmative, as he stays alive, but still had to burn his flash. We've seen many of these situations where Believix just does not respect the potential engage range of Zac. And that creates a lot of issues for them. Again, it's Judgy Rocks in the mid lane, just farming in the middle of the lane. And he's going to fall. So is Techno Gremlin. No, sorry, it's Jaina Proudmoore actually. It's 2 kills clean for Brainstorm Unleashed. They still have numbers advantage. That's another CC landing. This time Techno Gremlin will save his own life with a Black Shield, but Brainstorm Unleashed with these champions, it's so easy to just pull the trigger at any time they wish. And every time, Believix has to be careful. Yuna now CC'd, but he's gonna come in with a Black Shield! Good shutdown onto him for Brainiac. He continues to fight. He has a lot of lifesteal, but he cannot survive through all of that damage. Brainstorm Unleashed managed to kill him off at the exact right time. Luke Caruana with a flash of his own. And Brainstorm Unleashed, no matter what kind of fight it is, it really just feels like they're winning every single one. The disposition of their champions is just so well suited to situations like these where fights are constantly happening. The Seraphine can support from a really long range. Senna can do that as well. Zac's long engage range is also lethal, as it already has been shown multiple times this game. And it's Belveth also, which just the pick which just naturally scales with every single minute of the game. It's not so much necessarily item scaling, it's mostly just scaling with time. Belveth really just becomes more and more powerful the longer the game drags on. Now we're going to see a 1v1. Jaina Proudmoore with the red buff. Christian Simeone has more than enough damage to close the gap. Jaina Proudmoore burns his flash, but now he's actually going to win the 1v1 because Christian Simeone cannot close the distance. And the shield bow from Vayne prevented the lethal from happening, so it is a successful 1v1 from Believix. Good news from them. But now the Black Shield will not save Judgy Rocks. It's once again a pick-off for Brainstorm Unleashed. 0 and 7 right now on the Caitlyn. Judgy Rocks is getting wrecked by the engagers of Brainstorm. The initiations just land every single time, and Believix constantly have to deal with spots where they are in a numbers disadvantage or they're missing summoner spells. It's a tough spot to be in. But they will contest the dragon regardless. Yuna still has his ultimate. Will he use it here to try and fight versus Brainstorm's team? He's CC'd against the wall. He pops it a little bit too late, I'm afraid. And Brainstorm is about to win another fight. As Jaina Proudmoore loses the rematch versus Christian Simeone. And the kills just keep rolling in. As this is the perfect timing to go for Baron Nashor, but instead we're just going to hit a pause. 20-9 right now on the scoreboard. And things are looking quite bleak for Believix as they just continue to hemorrhage gold. The start was very good, but clearly they were just, I mean, maybe not the whole team, but especially the bot lane were just plain careless. So much gold given away to champions like Vizak or Visena or even the Seraphine eventually is just going to come back to bite you. The scaling on the other side is so good, and it's so hard to kill them as well if you don't have enough sustained damage. And it all came to fruition. Brainstorm did get ahead. Because they just chose a composition that's just naturally suited towards this chaotic state of the game. And now, looks like Baron will surely follow. We are indeed moving towards it. No one really able to contest from the other side, so it is just going to be a free Baron take. And this is where it really turns. Really all turns bad for Believix. Now it's going to be extremely hard to fight back. And if I were to make some conclusions just from this first game right now, it's not necessarily the comp that failed Believix. It's just the way in which they chose to approach this game, and the level of disrespect that was shown to the Zac and the Belveth roams as well was what led to this downfall of Believix, as, would you believe it, the bot lane of Believix is about to die again. They land one kill on Belveth, but look at what's happening on the other side. Brainstorm Unleashed still moving forward with a Baron buff. This is absolutely guaranteed to be the inhibitor. As Believix are now desperately trying to push these minions away from their base. Another lost fight. And another influx of gold for Brainstorm Unleashed. They could potentially do even more of his Baron buff. There's still an inner turret to take on the bot lane side. They're going to move there all together with their team. That explosive cast was really close to actually putting Jaina Proudmoore in a lot of danger. Info Brainiac stays alive even though the Infernal Chains yanked him to his previous position. Now Brainstorm Unleashed just transitioning towards a 1-4 setup. They're going to keep Christian split pushing in the mid lane against Jaina Proudmoore. The rest of the team is pushing. It's another 1v1. Jaina Proudmoore uses the Condemn. Now Christian Simeone, does he have enough damage to fight back? And the E, the 60% damage reduction plus the Execute. That ability has so much potential in the 1v1. And also the Kraken Slayer procs that you get. It also works on the E ability, so it's just so hard to win the 1v1. And now Brainstorm Unleashed. Once again, the initiation strikes true. The Zac and Seraphine combo creates such easy fights for Brainstorm. Now Believix, Yuna the Bullet gets one shutdown. Can he get more? Not enough damage. Not enough health to survive the damage on the other side. And we are just going to see a fairly quick game 1 from Brainstorm Unleashed. Believix did well to get advantages in the early game, but after those first 12 to 14 minutes, they just did not play well. It just has to be said. I feel like bot lane was definitely a letdown. Digirox and Techno Gremlin have to take a step back and recollect themselves.
Okay, right, that was a very fast draft. Woo! So we've got Lux and GP locked in for Believix, and then Sejuani top lane last picked into this gangplank. Just
something that I would like to see more often actually is not Sejuani, Shyvana top in response to gangplank picks. I'm gonna have to interrupt you quickly because I need a screen share from someone if possible because I'm not observing.
I'm observing, so I can just do mine. One sec. How do I do this? There we go.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Okay, because I was casting a draft. I was casting a draft. I can't remember what it was actually. I saw it a while ago.
30 seconds until
And
spawn.
I was casting from the stream, and but like I can't remember who it was. Someone was with me. They noticed it immediately. Chat noticed it. But yeah.
Yeah. Press the attack. Looking for like quick trades. Potentially thinking this game is gonna need to be sorted in the mid game. And I'm also noticing Ghost on Lux, which is something that I really like myself. I love Ghost on mages. It really helps them get longevity in team fights. I'm a big advocate of Ghost on Seraphine. I think it's very, very good in matchups where you don't need exhaust for lane.
I think, at least mid, I love taking TP on Victor into melees that won't one-shot me. So like, for example, like Cat and Akali, I'll usually kind of go exhaust because those are like generally more difficult matchups. Not so much Cat, but Akali is one of the worst.
These sums and runes are making me think that both teams are potentially looking to play quite mid-game focused here. Like the Ghost on the Swain and the Lux, and the press the attack on the Kayle. These aren't teams that are going to sit till late game and see whether the GP or the Kayle is ahead. These are teams that want to force the team fights once Kale's level 11, pretty much, or in the case of Believix, do so before then.
Yeah, if you can press Control Shift Z and then scroll out a bit, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is new technology to me. Not that you'll be able to see this on stream.
Yeah, I was doing production I was doing production for Ear and Roar a while ago, and I had to like figure out what exactly all the keybinds do, and I became a master observer. So I know all the tricks now. I mean, Luke. I mean, the GP. I think you could argue that like one of his weaker points in the game is before he gets Essence Reaver, because I feel like that's when he's sort of the mana problems are really there. Obviously, he has he will have biscuits and stuff. I'd imagine. I can't see secondary runes on the UI.
How do I see secondary runes? I'm literally just trying to do that.
If you click on the champion themselves, they'll come up in the bottom left, and then all their stuff should be there, like as in game. I will have.
Click on the.
He is running straight into the top lane. with this pillar coming out after Junna's flash. He's going to flash after him, and the slows are just about enough along with the Sejuani stun, but one of them is going to be returned, and I mean, that's not bad for Junna.
For a GP, you'll take that.
Yeah.
For a GP, you will 100% take that, and you've got TP, so your wave is
Candle
fine.
flash is gone. Sejuani's ignite is gone. Obviously, both your subs are gone, but you get the wave and everything. I mean, as well, I just don't think that's just not that bad. It's not bad at all for him. And Christian is struggling a little bit with the left hook, as you would expect, but potential all-in coming into the bot lane. Nympho Brainiac with the engage, not quite enough. He's trying to walk back in and out.
They did make Rel a little bit faster in her waddling form.
Waddling form.
Is that not what it is? Oh, Trundle without flash though. Nah.
Not gonna go for anything, just gonna handshake and let Fanxi
So,
get away with his life.
Kale with a Doran's shield. I do wonder, I mean, we're already slightly seeing it.
The re-engage with the slingshot from Duke of Jamming and the flash W happened to be used to get away for Christian Simeone, and I mean, that's definitely a point of interest now.
Already seeing mana problems coming in for Christian Simeone, and I think that's why Doran's shield isn't taken more on Kale.
Yeah.
Is because you do just struggle over time, especially in mid lane when you want to be finding Qs.
Yeah.
Brawling up there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, top lane is kind of just middle stuff.
Oh, that wave state in bot lane is not what you want to see if you're Brainstorm unranged.
Yeah.
The Swain has got it in a perfect space where the Rel can't really get in range to walk up, but you can still get E'd by the Swain.
One thing I'm curious about is the bone plating for Christian.
That's just good interlux. It just helps against the QER combo later. It's not really a lane thing. It's gonna get poked off you in lane, but it can save up life later.
Yeah, I see. I mean, obviously, I think that probably will be the Essence River Rush. I know a lot of GP players really don't like that, actually. I know, obviously, most well-known GP players for Solar Baka, I'd imagine. That's sort of the face of the champion almost. He loves, like, full crit, but I know a lot of GP players that really don't like Essence River for whatever reason.
Yeah, going on to the bone plating, I think a lot of people place importance on breaking people's bone plating in lane. And for certain champions, especially if you're playing like an assassin or something like Kiana, it does matter. But in general, bone plating is thought too much of as a lane rune and not enough as a later game rune that can just help against all ins.
Yeah. Oh, a huge all in with ultimate and everything from Luke Caruana.
I think he knew he wasn't killing.
Half HP, but I mean, I thought he might be able to force him out of lane. I think Gunna might just have to recall. Thanks, he was pathing top as well. I think maybe if he.
No, I think he can. I think he can catch that.
Yeah. Jenna Proudmore only sending a huge trade here, but we're gonna have to go straight down to bot lane. And Tekken Gremlin and blasting on 1 HP, the Ignite takes him down, and the first kill goes over to Nympho Brainiac. Hawk's Village don't try to get out of his way with his life, but the GP ultimate coming down into bot lane. Nympho Brainiac having to flash away himself, but Jenna Proudmore is here with the
Jenna Proudmore comes out of nowhere.
He is also going to fall. 5 kills in the space of 15 seconds. Jenna Proudmore going to make sure that it is 6 and 3 kills for both teams.
I don't think that was really an intentional roam from Jenna Proudmore and more just running away from the lane and seeing,
yeah, exactly.
seeing the Rel there.
Very. He master positioning, I think.
It's a decently played fights all around, but I think the true winner in this scenario is genuinely just Kale, who has now caught up what was a 15 CS deficit, got the wave in a good spot, got off a good recall for the first recall of the game. It's starting to look good for the Kale. Sorcerers choose Rush on Lux, really aggressive pick. Yeah, pretty standard stuff from other builds. Merctread's rushed on Rel makes sense into the double mages.
Yeah, it's back to a normal default map state. Never sort of maybe looking for something, but I think Rel is something I struggle with, at least when I don't upset anything myself, is I'm actually very low range. You can struggle with this, but the Bob might have enough time to kill Luke Caruana. The Ignite comes out. And it is a 1 for... No, it's not a 1 for 1. GB didn't die in return
Shields, the
there.
luck shield at last
The luck
second.
shield. Okay,
Saved
so
him.
I don't know if it happened on stream as well. Our camera panned down to bot. So
Yeah,
I think
it
still happened there.
it popped back at the last second, and I'm pretty sure that luck shield mattered.
Okay, well...
I'm honestly quite surprised that the Sejuani came so close to killing him. I thought
Yeah,
that
I was gonna
suicidal
say,
engage.
really went from not a lot of damage to a lot, and a huge engagement from Bloody from Ninja Brainiac. The silence isn't going to lose to Chimera, and the demon, this whole demon mode coming out from Judgy Rocks, but neither team really gonna go for anything. He's just gonna let this run out.
Demon mode.
Demon mode, I did, because I forgot to spell. Demonic Ascension, thank you. Chimera is going back in with the ultimate of her own. And Griffin goes really on no HP here, but the knockback comes in on Judgy Rocks, and the Soraka healing is just so...
Refocusing the Swain.
Yeah.
And why they don't have anti-heal yet is beyond me. This should be an Executioners on the Samira. If there was an Executioner on the Samira, they'd I think.
And Jenna Proudmore.
Oh, well, here's Lux.
On him with his own gank, and I think it's safe to say that Hawksbill is going to die, not going to get anything in return. The final spark enough to take him out, but Nympho Brainiac going to try and waddle away. The never move, not enough to catch him.
Just adopting the waddle thing now.
Popping the waddle thing. Yes, I am indeed, but the return gank into top lane, and Luke Caruana might not fall actually. They don't have enough damage to kill him. He's going to get away. What is he actually flashing in and chews away at Juna? He is going to be the first to fall. Slingshot is not enough to get over the wall, and Banksy saving the day for his top laner. I think Luke would have got away with that, but
If it weren't for that meddling kid.
really? Why is the Scooby-Doo reference? Oh, but... Oh, okay. This is definitely obviously the first fight. Pretty much nothing for a long time, and then it exploded in bot lane.
Like I said, mid game.
Yeah, more downtime for a few minutes.
Pretty high gold lead now for Brainstorm Unleashed. Got nearly 2k.
Yeah. And Hawks
Still no Executioners on the Samira, so she's just hard losing that trade for no reason.
Either Jamie is the only thing with the response gank into mid doesn't have the second target to pull this Rel back. I think that might have been a kill considering she was in a what we said waddle form. So
Yeah, we're sticking with that.
Struggling alone in bot lane. Samira not really someone you want to be weak siding. As a general
Yeah, I
rule
feel
of
like if you want to roam as a tank support, then Rel is not what you play.
Yeah. I would 100% agree with that. Both teams going back to, again, a kind of neutral state really. Goal difference being only 1k. Different Brainiac. Maybe looking for
Fighting.
Samira. Firstly engaged from Samira. It might be a little bit early for him having to use the actual heal sub, and he is going to fall. But Different County is coming in response. Hawksbill will not be the first to go down. He flushes away from Spain, and Nympho Brainiac is going to fall himself. And I don't know how that managed to be a 1-for-1.
Just managed to lifesteal through it. It actually almost looked like Fancy killed Nympho Brainiac with the pillar there.
Yeah.
It did look a little bit like that happened. I'm not sure if it mattered or not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how neither carry died. My god, this GP damage is already incredible.
Well, when you charge like that on Sejuani and you completely whiff it, you're just terrified at that point. Because you just know you've got no flash, you've got no way out.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about watching or playing GP is the size of the numbers on my screen when I crit with a barrel. They are huge.
I do think I question Jaina Proudmore hitting the Qs and not immediately going for ult here, because I feel like you just go for ult on cooldown on
You
Lux.
have to drop because there's a huge flash engage from Nympho Brainiac. Does manage to cancel the slingshot, but it's not enough. Flash and ult both used. Only does have the hex flash, but really not much out of that. This is one that was going to come down along with the ignite. You're gonna have to flash away from Luke Caruana, and if my personal
Maybe a dive here.
Press tab in a second, you can see. I don't know if he's ahead though. Final spark not enough to take my break away. going to be the first pick of the game for PSG, but the power dive coming in, the orange is enough to keep him alive! But he does fall eventually.
Dies to the Everfrost in the end.
One.
Everfrost? What's it called? Permafrost.
Permafrost. I think if I remember correctly, it's not actually an orange, it's a citrus, isn't it? I think.
It's just called Remove Scurvy, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You're right. It is, yeah. But I think I think what it says in the ability is that he eats the citrus or something. Maybe it is an orange. Maybe I'm just completely lost. But
You know, citrus is what an orange is. An orange is a citrus. Citrus fruits are like clementines, oranges, lemons. It's a type of fruit.
Okay.
It's like a group of fruit, like berries.
That's plastic, Jamie. I mean, looking for the slingshot, I think he's really sitting pretty much just outside the room. This level 9.
Just imagine you going into a Tesco's and asking for where are the citruses.
I see people calling it a citrus online, and I don't know if they're just trying to sound like smarter than they are.
Oh, these kale trades. I mean, it takes the E in return, but I feel like it's pretty easy at this stage in the game for a kale to just out-trade a Lux if you could just dodge one or two spells.
He's come in, and he's ultimate knocks it to his back. There's so much in this one attention. The Geek Ultimate coming down into the bot lane. Mr. Brainiac is getting very, very low. Weak Pass is still available just over the ring gate. And my god, that healing from this game is
I feel like these fights are just would be so much like whichever side builds anti-heal is gonna start winning these fights, and neither of them have, and it's really annoying me now.
And another cross on lane.
Oh my god, John is alive!
On 1 HP! I mean, going to try and get Fancy away from him, but it's not OP enough.
He's gone back. Oh, he's had to. Okay.
He was having to flash away as well. Not entirely sure if that was.
I don't think he needed to flash at all, to be honest. There was no chomp, there was no pillar, but well. That's the second time top laners have just lived on 1 health.
What you can do is you can press tab, right? And then when a fight starts, press A. There you go.
What does that mean?
It just makes the UNL
Oh.
And you can see spin cooldowns on like everyone's health combined at the bottom.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. The more you know. Kale is going to start being a problem. As I say that, the TP does come in, he's going to have to use his ultimate just in case. But Tetragram left all on his own in bot lane. He is most definitely going to fall. Jennifer more kicking away on 1 HP. Tetragram does fall, but his passive is still there. They might be able to defend it. The Portal Spark is enough to return the kill. Tetragram does die in return, but another re-engage from New Carolina, and Jenna does fall. Fancy already unstoppable, and they're definitely not going to let this Lux get away with her life. There's another 2 kills for Fancy. And more importantly, a tower, and I don't know if Christian got a kill there, but he definitely would have got the assist gold along with a full tower for himself. But let's have the Nashers and Believix as well. It's going for the full HP.
Starting to outscale the Lux now. As much as that snipe was really nice there, waited well for the KO ult to be down.
I was kind of waiting for it. Like, I don't know if this is me noticing things that I wouldn't notice in game, but I was kind of looking at that fight. I was sort of waiting for the final spark. Like,
he definitely wanted to wait for the KO ult to be down, which is proper there. Obviously in lane, I think you use it on cooldown if you just hit a Q, because generally they're not going to want to ult it since their cooldown's so much longer. But in a fight like that, you do have to wait for it.
Second Herald and Dragon for that matter. All for Fancy. He's really, really fed on this Trundle. Also, almost getting caught out. Maybe it's not too late. Never Move does land. Hawksville does manage to dash away from the enemy minion wave, but his shield bow was popped. Didn't have to use any summons or anything.
I don't know why we couldn't have Lux ulted while they were Swain rooted, but fair enough.
Yeah. His first tier 1 tower will not fall actually, because the Sedwaniel is coming in, and Jenna Proudmore is going to fall in the end to Hawksville. And he kills on this Samira at this point in the game. If it keeps happening, if they keep getting these free picks, definitely going to be a menace, to say the least. Christian Simeone going away on his own to top lane, trying to match Junna. Dugu Jamming has lost custody of his red buff. I can't see him on the ward there. Vicar1 is going to try and come in from the flank. Completion away is going to be enough. The dash in, not quite far enough. Catch him out. And doing the things, they are looking for something in bot flanks. He still does have this herald available. Just to me level 12 now. Definitely scaling. G-Rock's gonna find himself a little bit of trouble here. Something just come out onto him, he is just feeling so much of the Soraka, and thanks to his own spawn, that's gonna be a 1,000 gold shutdown for Judgy Rocks. And BSU getting away with their tails between their legs. Get a promo, maybe looking for a pick here. The screenshot does come out. Middle of Brainiac. That bot tier 1 tower is still available. But no more kills from that fight. Still a 5, just over a 5 gold lead. Vicar1 looking for something on the Junna promo in this mid lane. Does get frozen in place, but is going to be able to get away with the help of his jungler. Christian Simeone 3 levels away from
GG.
explosion of a power.
But yeah, just where are the grievous wounds from either side? One side's playing against the Swain Soraka, one side's playing against the Mirror Chaos Trundle. I don't really understand why this Soraka isn't rushing Chemtech.
Maybe gets caught out. He is going to get a dash over the wall, and he is just so tanky. They don't do any damage to him. Does he have Force to Nature? I might be able to see on stream. I can't see. I would assume he does, based on how little damage he took there. But
What did you say, sorry?
no, he does not have Force to Nature. He only has the Megatron Cloak and the Merc Treads. Vicar1 looking for something under Junna in this alt lane. He is going to walk away. Does manage to cleanse away the ult with that unspecified citrus fruit. But more and more pushing into this bot lane. The Herald does go down. Vicar1 getting caught out on the spine. I was going to do an all-out brawl. Junna is the first wall. The mod expansion comes out, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to fall second, and it's a 2-for-0. Along with what will probably be a tower in Grado. Jamming also getting caught out, frozen in place. The shot was cancelled, and he's going to fall as well. They are just walking all over Believix. The final spark through the shield bow, not enough to potentially get one back onto Hawk's Bill. Thankfully, it's just pointing them so far away. Really monstrous performance on this Trundle.
We are just seeing the problem that I said originally in the draft. This team hasn't drafted any damage.
Yeah, really is just nothing there at all.
There's no consistent damage on the side of a Swain that can't consistently be on those champions.
Yeah. Simeone, they are going to look to try and catch him out. GPO.
Meanwhile, you have 3 different hyper carries for BSU. You deal with one, another one starts killing one.
Return kill does have to use his own ultimate and flash to get away, but you can see this Kale not even level 16, and she is doing that much damage, and it's that hard to get. I think I don't know how many mistakes you would have to make to lose this game. It really is. Yes, he's going to lose. And Judgy Rock's getting caught out again. There's too much CC, too much slowing. Franksy, yet another kill on the board. Excuse me, but potentially turning towards a Baron, and there's just nothing you can do about it. I mean,
Looks like they might be forced off it here.
Right. And this is going to end the game if it goes too poorly for Believix. They've heard in the beginning, but they're not going to look for anything just yet. Frankly, going straight back towards his team. Baron was cancelled.
So they're trying to force Baron before the KL is 16. I feel like you have a very free game to wait here without too much to worry about. You know you're going to hit the KL 16 before the GP gets too many levels on him. The Swain is still level 11. So I don't think you really need to worry about anything. Looks like they are going to position up for the dragon now. Chris and Simeone, I mean, he's not really alone here, but they don't know where he is. Just very little vision available here, using the Swain Eye to have a look.
Shot does come in, actually one huge phase, and Tuna is already dead at this point.
Oh, the Judgy ult though.
Most efficiently is going to fall. Ultimate does get kill on the technical damage in return. Pretty Rock is not going to be able to survive any longer, and it is a 3-for-1 in favor of Brainstorm on late, along with
Damage to melt down all these champions. The Lux and the GP blow their cooldowns on one person. In that instance, it was the Kale, and then you just don't have anything else. Boy.
Oh, he stole it with the slingshot.
You love to say it. The classic. The absolute classic.
Lucas jamming. I can't even say this with a straight face. Maybe it's possible for something to come out of this game for Believix. Gonna peeling back his dogs from trying to he fights away at the barrel, but he gets going to get caught out by just trying to light blinding. But he's just so angry at that such a way. There's one little coming as well, trying to just try in the end. There's a returning pictures coming out as well. Oxwell is so low, the shield goes up, Colonel Stark is going to finish him off. The Brainiac also 1 HP, and look how Wada is going to fall, and it is a 1 fight for Believix.
Wait a minute.
Maybe
Wait a second.
not right yet. Christian Simeone hitting level 15, along with a free kill onto Shana. Does manage to get caught out with screenshot, still has that ultimate available, but not going to
hit the kill instead.
And does
Nice the dragon, Baron.
2 for 2. Or 2
But
for 1.
I mean, that was a very, very well played fight. From I'd say Mark and Junior Proudmore specifically, like very well positioned by the Sword, and then very, very good use of the spells from Lux to hit as many people as possible. Hitting the non-CC'd Samira with the Lux ult there really was the clutch that prevented her from getting her ult off, which probably would have sealed the deal for Believix. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope, but I do feel like that felt a little bit like the team fight where the stars align. And also Chris wasn't there.
Can you tell me, can you give me a feasible reason why you would ever pick Soraka to build Shirelles on it?
Well, if you've looked Soraka and the enemy team has built a lot of Grievous Runes, so you don't want to stack Grievous Runes on Moonstone, then you build Shirelles, that's fine. And Shirelles is fine to do on Soraka. But the enemy team has not built any Grievous Runes. Not only... well, they built... thing on Trundle, but Bramble on Trundle.
I feel
but the Swain's never gonna water the Trundle.
Yeah.
But there is finally an Oblivion Orb on the Swain. I do like it here. I would have preferred to see the Chemtech Rush on the Soraka just over any kind of Mythic. But you know, you're getting there now, and Swain is able to apply it to the whole team. It's just gonna delay Swain's third item, Power Spike of Demonic Embrace, a little bit. Because I feel like you kind of have to go for the Morello here. Although it doesn't actually look like he is. He's got the Amp Tome there, which, honestly, I'm not really sure what that's going towards, because if that's a component for Demonic Embrace, then you're just sort of resigning yourself to sitting on 2,000 gold before you can buy anything else. Here's the 16. 16. He might be a bit dead, but that's level 16 KL.
But
I mean, we'll see.
Soraka does have to use the heal to get out. Does have to use his ultimate as well. Flashes straight towards Jenna Purple, but it's not going to be enough. That's a lot of resources used. Luke Arwana getting caught out on the other side of the map. The Monica Sanchi does come out, but Bryson and Leash are just taking the Baron. And I don't think you mind trading 2 members for a Baron in this position. Luke Arwana also going to get away.
Not even trading 2 members. This guy just
not even trading
everything, including a whole Swain ult.
And now, while it looked good for a short period of time, I think, they will get a little bit out of this. Just that mid-tier 1 tower, which somehow had not fallen yet.
I just think the team fight, the team fight hasn't really happened yet, where this KL is really unleashed. But we'll see. Maybe maybe they'll continue to misplay and Chris will continue to die on split. So Shwani
Yeah,
looking like she might try to force something from the side
so-
here with the Glacial Prison available.
And the second, I was about to say the second tier 1 tower in mid, the tier 2 tower going to fall, which opens up the map a lot, really makes it difficult to go anywhere for Believix. And I never realized how many sounds these different champions make during team fights until I watch them in spectator mode when they're amped up to 1000 volume for some reason. Rajwaniel just going to go wide. That's a big cooldown that won't be available for Brainstorm Unleashed. Definitely able to clear waves with this Russian tank fight.
Cooldown actually.
Hmm?
It's not that long a cooldown to be honest.
Yeah,
I think they'll
I
be
mean,
alright.
what I was more referring to was the fact that it's like a big ultimate, so if they look
Yeah.
on the, like, just then maybe, but I think that Duke of Jamik still turning from more of a kind of jokey constellation type thing
One
to
thing
like
I'd like to point out here is I think, well, it seems that now that they have the KL16, Brainstorm Unleashed is going for the end of the game. Luke Caruana not only has an Elixir of Iron on right now, he also has another one in his inventory. So he spent 1,000 gold on non-permanent
Still,
items.
going straight into the tower dive. A full engage is going to come in. It's a 1-1 so far. And I don't think that's really that good to Believix, especially if you're going to trade the second. But Precious Simeone picking up the solo kill on the top lane onto Chucky Rocks.
You struggle to kill the KL now that the Swain and the GP is dead because the Lux can... Because now the KL is happy to save ult simply for the Lux combo and nothing else.
This Caruana and Banksy swimming in dangerous waters, but they have the force of nature. They just simply don't care. And my god, that KL damage, you just can't compete with that at this point in the game. This one shot is not going to be quite wide enough to hit Christian. And I think we can say goodbye, at least for now, to... they're as good as gone. They're as good as gone to lower bracket. And then... Which... It,
Sort of looks good in the 2v2s, where the Lux is able to really shine and get picks and stuff like that. And the Swain's able to sustain. But then you just look off to the side and Chris is killing someone. And I feel like that's just the name of the game at the moment, is this KL is just so ridiculously strong.
I mean, that's the thing about the scale. Like obviously, Brainstorm Unleashed they have played this game well for the most part. Maybe getting caught out a few too many times, a little bit overconfident potentially. But Hale, even if you are not playing that well, it's always
It's the reliability. Yeah, your insurance if the early game doesn't go so well.
Vigilance having to flash away from Banksy. Gonna looking for a barrel. I'm not going to find anything. And I mean the kills there is only a 6 kill difference, but the goal lead being 10k is that's where the problems are at.
It's quite telling. I mean, you have what, a 60 CS lead in mid lane. You have a 70 CS lead in jungle. Matched by 60 CS lead for top for Believix. But it does seem like this GP is struggling to output damage.
Is going to come out. That is huge damage from Chris coming on the backside. But their main damage, their main source of DPS is going to fall. Hospital gets away with his own ultimate. Incoming is going to fall.
Damage.
And that is going to be the end of not only the game, but the entire series.
Is it best of 3?
Yeah.
Oh,
Pushing
so
them
it's
all the way
okay, right, we're done then.
And that is game over. Brainstorm Unleashed advanced into the final.
I think so, I don't know.
They do. Before the game, they do indeed.